Have you ever noticed that you can tell as much about an organization from the identity of its critics as from its supporters, from what's said against it as from what's said for it?
They don't believe in the Bible as the Word of God.
They don't believe in the hereafter as their just reward and punishment.
They're weird. They don't even believe in the Ten Commandments.
They're even against harmless prayer in public schools.
They want to promote the teaching of evolution in the schools and are against teaching creationism.
They make all this fuss about the separation of church and state, even though religion is the basis of all governments, including America's.
Some of them really get bent out of shape about invocations at government and public meetings.
Hello, I'm Dr. Isaac Asimov, and what you've just heard are some angry criticisms. And if you agree that religion is a subject that can generate strong feelings, you'll probably agree that politics can have just as strong an effect, whether at a dinner party, lunch, or a political demonstration. And from what we've seen more and more frequently in the last few years, it's the volatile combination of political and religious conflict which results all too frequently in all-out war. And unfortunately, things are not getting better. It's still, my religion is better than yours, and my political system is better than yours, and I'm ready to kill you to prove it. Religion and politics, always a very lethal combination. As far back as prehistory and early biblical times, and continuing with the holy wars of the Crusades, and all the many religious and political wars that followed, up to and including today. They're still with us even now, when it could mean the destruction of civilization, or even of the planet itself. Which brings us to the accusations about politics, the other half of this dangerous combination.
They're against meeting our country's military needs.
They're not loyal Americans.
There goes that they again. And the accusations don't stop at religion and politics. We've more to hear on the subject of morality. No, not morality as in ethics, but morality as in sexual behavior. Yours, his, hers, theirs, anybody's.
They're basically immoral. They're in favor of abortion.
They want to teach sex education in schools.
They want to teach birth control in school.
They support gay rights and are responsible for the spread of homosexuality.
They're for free love and against marriage.
And sex or gender can become political too.
They're in favor of ERA. That means a woman goes to war. They're against protecting women in any way. They don't even want men to open doors for them.
And out of the same grab bag of oversimplified knee-jerk attacks,
They want to infiltrate the government, pass laws against religion and morality.
They want to teach our children to make their own decisions without the guidance of the church or the family.
they, there goes that they again. Well, who are the they that makes them so angry? If you haven't been able to guess, perhaps it would help you to know who are making these angry accusations. Mostly they're being made by a rather small, but zealous, well-organized, and very affluent coalition of far-right religious fundamentalists claiming to have 30 million members in the United States. But why has this multi-billion-dollar coalition, with their own schools and colleges and their own satellite television and radio network, chosen to focus on this particular group? What makes them single this group out as the agents of Satan? And something else. If the far left means satanic liberalism, what does the far right mean? Who is this worried Goliath? And why is he so afraid of this newfound David? Well, I guess we know who they are now. Fortunately for all of us, there are enough people who don't jump to conclusions, but instead have objective questions they'd like to have answered. Thinking people who don't want to condemn any person, any idea, or any philosophy because of hearsay or self-serving prodding from the far right.
What is humanism?
When did it start?
Where did it start?
What's secular humanism? What's religious humanism?
What is Christian humanism?
What is Judaic humanism?
Is humanism against religion?
Is humanism a religion? Is humanism a philosophy? What's the difference between humanism and traditional religion?
Well, now, that was different. Those were questions, not accusations. A central concept of humanism is the right and need for free, objective inquiry, for questioning. No one ever learned anything by accusation. And since humanists would like to explain who and what they are, here are 4 more good questions, not accusations, about some major contemporary issues.
Why do humanists fight parents who want to remove from schools and libraries books that they find undesirable?
Why shouldn't parents who send their children to private schools get tuition tax credits?
Has evolution ever been proven scientifically?
If the old ways of believing in God, the Bible, and the Ten Commandments have served us so well, why reject all that and put our trust in humanism?
These questions deserve answers. So let's begin with those about religion.
They don't believe in the Bible as the Word of God.
Humanists believe that the Bible was written by many men about God. First in the Old Testament with the God of the Israelites, and then later on in the New Testament about a man called Jesus. The balance of what the New Testament authors has supposedly been said by men who were the disciples of Jesus. Now to me, the Bible, the Old and the New Testament, represent man-made codes of behavior, some of which are noble and worthy of their humanistic intentions. Now, humanists believe that all people have the right to believe in and follow the teachings of the Bible, or the God of their choice, if they choose, just as they have the right not to.
They don't believe in the hereafter as their just reward and punishment.
Believing in a hereafter doesn't automatically make one a better or a more moral person. As a humanist, I believe that we should live our lives morally and ethically now, in this world, as though there were no hereafter as a reward or punishment. Yeah, I think this way we'd be much better human beings. The world would be a much better place to live in and to share with each other. Frankly, I'd rather we were judged by our deeds in the present. Maybe this way many of us wouldn't feel so free to do bad things now, as though the hereafter's a long time off. But again, as a humanist, I think that if individuals want to live their lives according to their expectations of a heaven or a hell and a future afterlife, well, that's their right. But for me, I'd rather live my life in the here and now, according to my here and now responsibilities and conscience.
They're weird. They don't even believe in the Ten Commandments.
I think the Ten Commandments and the Bible were attempts to provide guidelines for ethical and moral behavior for their time and are still relevant. But even if I didn't believe the Bible and the Ten Commandments were okay for our time, I would never be against the civil and religious rights of people to believe in them, nor would any other humanist.
They want to promote the teaching of evolution in the schools and are against teaching creationism.
As a school principal, I am appalled that in this day and age, so many uneducated religious zealots have the arrogance to attempt to change standard educator-approved textbooks by removing Darwin and evolution and substituting the teaching of creationism as science. It reminds me of the earlier religious dogma which insisted that the sun revolved around the earth. We educators, along with the vast majority of other Americans, are against the teaching of religion as a science in a state-managed school system. It would be a flagrant violation of the Constitution's guarantee of the separation of church and state. There's nothing wrong with teaching religion, so long as it's taught in the home, church or temple, or comparative religion classes, but not in a school biology class.